Welcome, everybody. I am Beyond Sadistic, and this is the MTGPL Presents Legacy Live. Yet here again for our third Legacy Live episode. And with me tonight is Chaotic Bear and Cathor. Welcome, guys. I hope you're having an amazing week. We are bringing some awesome Legacy action with these guys and some pretty interesting options for tonight. Farad, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. I'm looking forward to playing my decks today. This is going to be fun today. I'm I'm having fun without even playing now. So this is some spice that we have today. So we have some normal meta lists and some kind of spicy lists that you don't see that often. But in Legacy, you should be prepared for everything. So that's how it goes.
I agree. And Bear, how is your Tuesday going, sir?
So far, so good. I'm excited to bounce some of these goofy decks against Cathor's decks here.
I
Uh,
am really excited. I think the viewers are also going to be super excited. And speaking of excited, roll some dice. AFR is going live this weekend for paper release, and in honor, Farad has brought something also that brings some dice. Farad, why don't you tell our viewers what you brought?
I bought a lot of dice, so I'm playing Dice Factory today. And the deck has one goal, and that's taking as many actions as possible and maybe win, maybe not. The only thing is you have to take a lot of actions. So we are playing with Everflowing Chalice and Astral Cornucopia. Those are both artifacts that you can play for 0, and they are using charge counters to, like, if you tap them, they make mana equal to the amount of charge counters on them. And then we have ways to put charge counters on those mana producing artifacts with Surge Node and Core Tapper. So we have a very unique way to ramp up our strategy. And then we have a artifact based value deck with Mystic Forge. We can play a lot from the top of our deck, and because we have a lot of 0 cost artifacts or cards that increase our mana output, we can play a lot of cards from the top of our deck, generate a lot of value, use Paradox Engine or Wings of Whitehearth to produce even more mana. Wings of Whitehearth is able to produce infinite mana with in a certain bot state with Voltaic Key and a lot of charge counters. And then we just use a lot of mana to make big beaters, make constructs with Khan or Ursa Saga, play Loathsome Golems, or let us lock people out. And if you want the real spice, we have the Magistrate Scepter that uses charge counters to generate extra turns. And there have been a few times where I had 20 extra turns, which you don't really need because like 5 extra turns is enough to kill your opponent usually.
I,
I've only gotten to do that in EDH before. I'm jealous. I don't want you to do it against me, but I wouldn't mind doing it.
right? So, in defense, Jeremy Chaotic Bear, you have brought a deck that does not use any dice. However, a deck that I have known you to play variations of to some degree since I've known you. Why don't you tell everybody about the deck you brought to battle against Dice Factory?
So I found a 4-color Loam build online for tonight. 4-color Loam is a deck that mixes a little bit of lands, a little bit of prison, a little bit of like Maverick kind of style deck. So we have Mox Diamond and Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor for a little bit of acceleration. Ideally, I want to land a turn 1 Chalice of the Void, Dark Confidant, or Sylvan Library. There's a lot of utility lands in there that I can get with the Knight of the Reliquary, and a lot of utility like creature silver bullets I can find with the Green Sun Zenith. Um, that can also grind with Punishing Fire and Grove of the Burn Willows as a way to loop that to repeatedly kill creatures or deal damage to the opponent. But generally, it's typically about getting rid of your opponent's biggest threat, either with Punching Fire or Abrupt Decay, to open up the window enough to sneak through with a 6/6, 8/8, 10/10 Knight of the Reliquary. But if we need to play the long game with Loam and Punching Fire, then we've got that as well, to really grind out and hopefully out card advantage the opponent.
Yeah, I think Loam has got a really interesting position right now in the meta, how it is. There's a lot of cards here that are played in other decks that do very well. Loam kind of
Mhm.
does all of that in one really big shell. And to me, the combination of Mox Diamond with Knight of the Reliquary and being able to just discard your lands to be able to tap mana, to be able to pump your Knight of the Reliquary is just such a awesome, uh, such an awesome play pattern. So very, very powerful. I'm really excited to see what happens tonight. Are you guys ready to get some Legacy Live going here?
Sure, let's do it.
All
Oh,
right.
let's get it going.
Let's get it going. And Prez BOTW in the chat lies. There are chalices here, which means they do use dice. Yes,
Yeah,
Prez,
planeswalkers as well, I guess.
I do agree. They do. It does have dice. Yes, but however, those chalices usually have no dice.
Sometimes a die on one.
Right.
And okay. So we already rolled, and a Cathor,
Amen.
unfortunately, you'll have to play, right?
Yes, I have to play. We battled it out in the first game, and the scissors lizard was on my side.
Oliver V says, I have a lot of money on Bear here.
I don't know. I was watching some Dice Factory VODs to prepare for this, and that deck can do some goofy stuff.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. And for those of you guys that are new here, we are the MTGPL, the Magic the Gathering Paper Legacy Discord. We are a Discord that plays Paper Legacy tabletop action 24 hours a day through Discord and over webcam. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat will get you your own personal link to come and hang out with us and play Legacy with us 24 hours a day. If you're in an area that has maybe a Legacy meta that isn't too exciting or doesn't have a whole lot of players, come let us be your local meta. We're here all the time, anytime, tons of deck discussions and everything else going on.
So, Jeremy, let's take a look at our hands.
All right, go for it. What you got? I'm gonna exercise my privilege of showing second since I'm on the draw here. I only get a little bit of benefit.
So, what do we do here? Be honest, I think we are going to keep this. This is a kind of spice. So we have. I will show. Like we have Urza Saga, 2 City of Traitors. So that alone can do some spicy stuff. We also have a Retrofitter Foundry and 2 different like mana producing artifacts: the Everflowing Chalice and the Astral Cornucopia, and 1 Khan the Great Creator. So I think we can easily play some turn 1 Urza Saga into Foundry and just start getting construct tokens going, and we will see what we get from the top of our deck.
Yeah, this is my hand. I'm actually going to put this back. I've got double Mox Diamond, but I only have 2 lands to go with them. I have a couple of 3 drops in my hand, so I basically am priced into either top decking more lands to go with the Mox Diamonds or to cast my spells. If I cash an even 1 Mox Diamond turn 1, I don't know if I'll cast another spell for a while. So I'm going to put this back to 6.
Interesting thing on that too, those lands were both utility type lands, and one of those that wasteland there would be a very good land for you to have, especially in this matchup. I would think pitching that to a Mox Diamond would almost feel even worse than not top decking land.
Yeah, I mean, I can pitch the Bojuka Bog and it's basically free. But like you said, if I want to sack that wasteland to blow up that Urza Saga or a Soul Land or whatever, then I'm stuck at 1 land for the rest of the time, most likely.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And while Chaotic Bear is shuffling up his deck, let's talk about Urza Saga. So Urza Saga is starting to show up in more and more decks, just as like basically a free include in a lot of decks. The package is extremely light. It's lighter than even like a Stoneforge Mystic package that you would add to a deck. It's able to, I mean, it's a ton of free value, and it can actually act as an effective finisher in terms or even board state presence to pressure your opponent in a position where you normally would not have that ability. Where do you guys see Urza Saga?
I think Urza Saga is like tailor-made for this deck, because this deck can make use of every mode. You can use the colorless mana to its fullest in a colorless deck. You can create the tokens with very reliably because you have a lot of mana production in the deck. You can tutor for not only a single like silver bullet card that you put inside your deck that you usually wouldn't play, but you can also search for very useful cards that you need or are playing anyway in the deck. And the artifact count in this deck is higher than usual. So it's not unusual to play a 6/6, 7/7, or sometimes 10/10 construct, or have multiple of those on the battlefield.
Right.
No.
Bear, how would your hand look?
So here's my 7, including Punching Fire. I'm going to bottom Punching Fire. I have 2 lands that make my colors. I have a Chalice of the Void that I can power out with the Mox Diamond. I have Life in the Loam if I want to buy back one of those lands. And then Abrupt Decay is just like some general decent removal. This hand wants a threat pretty badly, or a way to draw cards, sort of like Sylvan Library or Dark Confidant. But I think especially on 6, I just have to keep this hand that has good cards in it and sort of hope.
Right. Very good decision. I would agree with that. So you gentlemen are ready to fire it off. And if you guys in the chat have any questions at MTG Paper Legacy with what your questions are, and I will definitely make sure they get answered.
Sweet.
Okay. I will just pick up this because you will see most of it anyway in the first 2 turns.
That's fair.
Okay, but on my first turn, I will play the Ursa Saga, and let's use my first dice for today. I will tap this, play the Retrofinder Foundry, and play single Chalice now, because we have ways to put charge counters on this in 2 turns. And then that's everything I will do for now, and I will pass the turn.
All right, so I will draw. I have got a bunch of choices here. So I can run out Mox Diamond to power out the Chalice of the Void. I actually drew a Mox Diamond for turn. Um, and I have to assume that I might need to hold up Abrupt Decay here. I might need to get rid of the Retrofitter Foundry. Um, my Abrupt Decays are going to be very taxed in general just because you have so many powerful things going on. Um, and I can tell that I'm not against a deck that's going to counter Daze me here, which means I'm going to take the maximum possible greedy line here. I'm going to play a Mox Diamond. I'll pitch Bayou. Scoot that down just a little bit. Put my deck back here. And I will play other Mox Diamond, pitch the Taiga, and I will loan back these 2. I could play Chalice here. Um, Actually, I will just go ahead and run out the Chalice on the 1. I can Life from the Low next turn. I miss a land drop this way, but I don't have anything for 3 in my hand anyway, and I'm sort of at the mercy of the top of my deck. This will be the most disruption, and I can worry about developing my mana later.
Sounds like
So
a good
from
plan.
there, yeah, this punishes me if you have like Ratchet Bomb in your deck or something, but I'll pass turn.
Okay, I will untap, upkeep, draw. Let's see. I will get a counter on the Ursa Saga. At the beginning of my first main phase, I can now
Mhm.
produce the tokens. I will play out one of my cities, and now I have the choice. I can either play the Asperico Cornucopia on 1 if I want to, but I'd rather just get the tokens going with the Ursa Saga. So because of that, I think I will just pass the turn, leaving my mana open, and leave it to Jeremy to show me to do some nice things.
All right, so if I'm seeing that, I am ecstatic that you didn't just go off there. I will draw a card for turn. It's a Windswept Heath. So I'm going to try to be maximally efficient here, correct the Windswept Heath down to 19. I'll go get a Savannah. I'm not like Wasteland might exist here, but I have so many colors and so many lands anyway that I'm not super concerned with it. And this, um, and I'm about to rebuy this Windswept Heath. The other choice is Dryad Arbor. Um, I think either one is probably fine here. And doesn't do a ton. We'll tap these 2. I'm going to Life in the Loam these 3 lands. And then I will pass turn. I already made my land drop, can't really do anything else. So go
In
ahead.
this step, I will activate the saga to make a construct token. Let's use this fine lady. as my Arcade Post construct. And currently it's a 2-2-3-3. So
A
let's
bear
do like this.
prototype in session in chat says the greediest play is always the choice.
Okay, perfect.
Unfortunately, I agree with that a little too often for my own good.
So in my turn, I will go to Dwarf a turn. Oh, this is spicy. This is a Paradox Engine, and I have a Khan Sign of Urza in hand. And in my second main phase, I get a trigger from Urza Saga. So what I can do now is I can make a second construct to start beating. But seeing the maximum greed play from Bear and seeing that I have the Khan in my hand, I can just tap this Urza Saga for mana, use the with the like resolve the trigger to search my library for a card, and then I will get some extra mana production going, which comes in the form of a Mox Opal. So I still have one colorless floating. Then I can use the City of Traitors and the Mox Opal to play out the Khan.
Yep.
Play the second City of Traitors, trigger, sacrifice the old one, and now I disabled 2 of the Mox like mana producing cards Jeremy has.
Yep, unfortunately.
And the next thing I'm going to do is I will just use Khan to fetch a card from my sideboard, which would be the Liquid Metal Coating. Let's use a few more dice. Because this is like just by judging from what I'm seeing, now I can shut down 3 um like cards on the battlefield from his side. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a 5/5 beta on the battlefield. I locked him out pretty much at this point, and I just take my time to try to kill him now. So I would go to combat, attack you for 5,
Yep, 14. I don't have an option there.
and then I will pass the turn. And in your upkeep, I will use the opportunity to target your Savannah with the liquid metal coating to make it unusable for the rest of the turn.
Bad. Well, I will draw in that case. I will just play it by you and pass it back.
Okay. Going to my turn. In your upkeep, you can use your mana again.
Yeah, I don't have a great abrupt decay target here. I can hit the construct in response to you liquid metal coating my land, so I'm just going to wait for the last possible second to get the most information.
I will dwarf a turn. And what am
Current
I going
custom
to do?
4 is very annoying.
Yes. So I will go to combat now to force him on a play that he might not do otherwise. So I will attack you for 5 again.
Yeah, and this is where I don't have a ton of options. Like, I really want to save the abrupt decay for something that actually matters rather than my life total, but um, I pretty much I have to get this here. If I don't get this here, I'm sort of priced into doing it next turn. If I do it now, I want to commit this on this turn anyway, because if I top deck Knight of the Reliquary or something, I can cast it next turn. Um, assuming you don't liquid metal coding me. Abrupt decaying here also makes it to where you can do that next turn, but I think I just have to not take infinite damage here. So I'm going to go and decay the construct.
Okay. I wouldn't have seen this one coming. So the token is gone. So now I'm free to activate the liquid metal coating on the Savannah again.
Sure.
And I will just uptick the Khan
Yep.
to kill the land.
Yeah. I mean,
And
honestly, my anytime a card hits the board,
yeah,
it's so hard for me to beat it in general.
then I will use 3 mana to play Aswell Cornucopia.
Mhm.
And I will just pass the turn to you.
Yeah. My only way in the main deck to get rid of Karn is to attack it. So,
Catherine, there's a question in the chat. Prez BOTW asked if you were using 2B tokens as constructs. I know you said it was an RK post token, and looking at it, it's definitely an RK post token. Which one was it?
What do you mean with which one was it? It's in the construct token that's +1/+1 for each artifact. So the
Oh,
usage is right, or what do you mean?
oh no, I think he meant it's the 2B from near automata. Sorry, 2B.
Ah,
Yes,
to be honest, I have no idea. I
it
just
it
like the artwork.
it actually is. Yeah.
and I'm gonna pass it back after that. I'm gonna try to keep my graveyard visible to y'all here.
Okay, so let's go back to my turn. I will draw for turn.
Mhm.
So we still have a chalice on one. I should consider that. Um, I think I'll just keep wasting you, like target the Bayou with the
Sure.
liquid metal coating.
I'll float a black in response. Yeah, like this is
Yeah,
essentially I'm gonna make you kill me, but there's not a way that I come back from this.
let's play Khan's Sign of Ursa, make another construct token.
Mhm.
And what I have in my hand is a walking ballista and a search node. So that's nothing that's really good at this point because the search node is locked with the Chalice Paradox Engine. I don't have the mana producing cards out right now, but I got them locked with the liquid metal coating enough so that I don't have to really worry about it. So I would just pass the turn to Jeremy.
Sure. I will take a draw. I could be dredging life from the loam here, but there's nothing that I really want to hit in the yard that matters. I don't need more lands, and punching fire doesn't do anything right here, so that's why I'm taking natural draws that in there. Um, I'm going to go ahead and run at this taiga, make you keep doing it, and I'll pass it back.
To my turn. And let's see. Um, I think I'll just want to kill him as fast as possible, so I will make another construct over here. That would be a 7/7 now. And here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. And you are at 14 life. So what do we want to do? I don't think we will do a whole lot over here. I will just play a 1/1 Walking Ballista. And that increase our artifact count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will use the liquid metal coating on the tiger, uptick with the Khan.
I'll float a red before you in response to the Komodo Cutting.
Sure. And then I will go to combat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will attack you for 7.
Sure, I will take 7. Is it not
And
8?
then
I thought you said it was 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8. Yeah.
I'm ready to die, apparently.
And that's what I'm doing for this turn.
Sweet. I could crack Heath for a dry rubber to block, but it doesn't matter because Walking Ballista will just eat it. This lets me keep a land for another turn potentially. We'll draw. I drew a Clothos God of Destiny. That does just nothing. I'll go ahead and play this Grow the Burn Willows, and I'll pass turn.
In your end step, I will activate the Retrofit Foundry to make a servo token. I should have one right here. The good old R2D2.
Yeah, and unless you have something exciting to show here, I'm happy to scoop it up. I don't have an answer to any of this.
Oh no, I just go for the kill.
Okay.
Then so that was rather uneventful, but that's what you get when you go for maximum greed.
Yeah. The abrupt decay would have saved my lands there, but also the other angles of attack kill me as well. I had a Grove and a Mox Diamond in my hand that I drew, so like worse than useless there.
I think
So
that shows ultimately the power line of like what those artifact strategies can really do, and they kind of compound. Being able to lock you out with a liquid metal coating and Karn, and then be able to just eat your lands, it pretty much just taxed you, especially in a deck that is artifact based and it's discarding its lands to activate that artifact, it just kind of hurts you twice as much as another deck that doesn't have to rely on Mox Diamond, for instance.
I think
Yeah.
I was surprised that you went for the token because you can block the token with Dwight Arbor and like keep doing it, but you need the mana because I can just keep you on a single mana and for the rest of the game and still just do my thing with my deck, create 4/4 constructs with the Retrofitter Foundry. So I was a little bit surprised to see you not killing the coating.
Well, so I was my two problems there are that if I don't kill the token, it just gets bigger every turn, and I can jump it once, and I don't have any way of getting rid of it in my hand. I have to top deck a creature that's like big enough to block it, or top deck another Abrupt Decay. If I can hit the Abrupt Decay there, it sort of just like keeps me online long enough to hopefully draw something. I was just trying to get the like 3-turn clock off, um, but we'll go ahead and move.
Yeah, let's talk about sideboards. So let's talk
Sure.
to Chaotic Bear first, and you guys can follow along with the sideboards as well. Cardboard Live is active, so you'll be able to see all the sideboard cards in the 4-color Loam matchup here. Bear, now that you know exactly what the strategy of Cathor's deck is, what are you going to be bringing in from your sideboard to combat that?
So the list that I used online switched it up a little bit. Gave me one Force of Vigor, one Collector Oof for the artifacts there. Those are easy cards to bring in. I've also got two Thalias, which will help against the artifact side of the deck. I could potentially bring in some number of swords against the artifact creatures as well. Plague Engineer is a Death Touch blocker, but I don't have a ton to take out here. I've got a couple of cuts that are kind of just free. Scavenging Goose is kind of just free. Um, Liliana isn't really great. It's kind of slow. You're going to have multiple creatures out at any given point, most likely, given that Urza Saga makes tokens, Karn makes tokens. Um, so I'll find something else for the fourth cut. I'd probably just cut a Punching Fire. I have three, and they're not actually great against you. Clothis is also actually kind of actively bad. Yeah, the Lilianas might actually end up staying in here just because I might have some other cards to cut.
Makes sense.
Punching Fire is just like embarrassing against you.
Yeah, considering there's not a whole lot of threat there, and what threat he does have, he can actually pump in response to a Punishing Fire as well.
Yeah, so I'll probably board out two Punching Fire, and Ooze, and a Clothis for the four cards that I talked about. Options two, but
switching sides, Cathor with Dice Factory, you know that your opponent is on a Loam deck. You know they have Mox Diamonds. You did not see a Punishing Fire there though. However, you did see the red. What are you looking at bringing in against your opponent?
I'm still like, I think I will bring in at least the Spatial Contortion over here, because I need some spot removal. If he's bringing out early Reclaimers, Collector Oof is something I can definitely expect. So I need ways to kill him, to kill the Oof. This is also why I will try to bring in the Sky Sovereign Consul Flagship. And because even if the Collector Oof is on the battlefield, I can play the Skyship, kill the Oof with the ETB, and then uh, go along my way to do Dice Factory things. I'm considering Pithing Needle on Night or Wasteland, um, most likely Night or some of the Planeswalkers, and the great thing is I can tutor it up with Urza Saga and maybe a Shadow Spear to get around jump blocking my big construct tokens. But I'm not quite sure what I really want to cut from my deck. So cutting something like Retrofitter Foundry, because I think I should try to rely more on my Planeswalkers over here and slowly generating value with Retrofitter Foundry when he has ways to shut down artifact activations isn't the way that I want to be, like the place where I want to be. So maybe I reduce the amount of artifacts that I'm playing a little bit and just improve the amount of interaction that I have in my deck.
Sure.
yeah, this list runs 0 Trophy, 0 Vindicate. I just like the 4 mana stuff. It's so hard for me to remove.
Chaotic Rare, is it a good plan on your side with Chalice in your deck, and how much of his deck is based around 0 mana artifacts to actually play a Chalice on zero, possibly shutting off your own Mox Diamonds to be able to hurt him more?
Else on zero is fine, although I did take a look at the deck list beforehand. I think there's about an equal number of zeros and ones on that side of the table. Like there's a couple Mox Opals. It hits the one that has multi-kicker, not Astral Cornucopia, I don't think. There's Everflowing
Oh,
Chalice.
jealous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, it hits those, but one also hits Voltaic Key, it hits Retrofitter Foundry, and it hit one other card that actually mattered.
Ouch. The search note, probably.
Gotcha. Yeah, when I was looking through the deck list beforehand. Um, so we did organize these matchups to try to bring you like decent matchups that weren't just completely one-sided. And we also have seen each other's lists, so we know what we're talking about on stream here.
Sure.
So
And just note
but
again. Oops, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna take the play while I'm shuffling up here.
Oh yeah. And for those of you guys in the chat that maybe knew, we are the MTGPL, the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. We are a legacy-based Discord that plays tabletop Magic over webcam, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're not a member, !Discord will get you a link for you to come hang out and play Paper Legacy with us as well. This is our Legacy Live event, which we do every other Tuesday. And then we also have Legacy Fight Night, which has our users that sign up and play opposite of our Legacy Fight Nights. We also have weekly challenges that happen on Saturday. We have bi-weekly events that happen on Sunday, which are a Euro APAC time slot. And we have Legacy Leagues that happen every month. The leagues are the hottest and super casual way for people to get in and actually play some Paper Legacy, which have been extremely popular.
So yeah, there's the Legacy Live Nights are my favorite. I think that's because I'm on it right now.
Let's.
So have you drawn a 7, Catherine? I'm going to start going through my hand here.
I just got my 7. Let's flip them over and see what we have.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Tensai
So,
in the chat says Dice Factory, spicy.
Yeah. So my hand is not great, but it's also not so bad that I need to mull it. I would love to have some disruption in this hand. I'm pretty much leaning on this Green Sun Zenith, finding Collector Oof. If I didn't have Green Sun Zenith, I wouldn't keep this. I would love some acceleration as well. However, I've got 3 lands. I'll play Tranquil Thicket turn 1 for mana, just because I don't. The card draw with Sylvan Library, I would rather just go ahead and find guaranteed land 3. And then Life and Loam to get back my fetches. Could buy this back. Like I said, I want to get mana set up. And my first few turns are kind of devoted to like drawing cards. So that's what I'll pick here.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic way, especially with Bob. It gives you some card draw there. I think that's a fantastic game plan. Farid, what are you looking at on your 7?
I have 3 hands. I have an Ancient Tomb with City of Traitors, Inventor's Fair, and not much else on the lower side except for my Manifold Key, which is kind of doing nothing here right now. But I have great Fort Warps. I have Khan the Great Creator, and we've seen last game how powerful this card can be. I also have Khan Sign of Urza, which makes construct tokens and generates card advantage. So I have ways to actually win the game here. And then I also have a Mystic Forge, which is one of the best cards in the whole deck. So the great upside of this hand is that it does not rely on artifacts. So if he can get a Collector Oof, I don't really care too much about it. So I think I will keep this because being on the play, if I keep an artifact heavy hand and he plays turn 2 Collector Oof, or like Mox Diamond, and then Green Sun Zenith Collective turn 1, anything like turn 1, turn 2, then I'm out of the game. And this hand just is very stable, even through a lot of hate cards.
So both keeping here. I guess I'll lead off then. Like I said, I'm going to play the Tranquil Thicket. The alternate choice here, which I think may be strictly higher, or which may be higher upside, is to fetch and then cycle it and get it back later. However, I am just being being risk averse and wanting to make sure I hit my 3rd land. Because the Sylvan Library doesn't always give it to you. So I'll just play Tranquil Thicket and pass. Uncommon for us to actually like play this land in Loam, but
This would have been fun. I will play an Ancient Tomb, going to 18, and I can play the card I just drew, which is a Core Tapper. Unfortunately, I don't have a single card to use it with, but I think that's still pretty decent. So he doesn't know that I'm aiming for my 4 drops, and I will pass the turn with this.
All right, so we will take a draw. If I find Wasteland, if I find exactly Wasteland there, I'll probably just eat the Ancient Human. I'll wait till later. I didn't, so I won't. Um, I'll play this Proxy Foil Windswept Heath because the deck needed 2 foils or 2 Windswept Heath. I only have one. I'm gonna just go ahead and crack this right now. I'm not in any worry about getting basics here. I don't expect anything out over there, so I'll just go ahead and get Bayou. So I have my colors. Um,
Prototype in session says risk averse. Lame.
Well, I'm already down a game. If I were being cocky, I guess I could, not. But
Loam bigger,
so
go home, right?
I'm bigger go home. Yeah. So we will cut that. I'm going to go and run out the Sylvan Library. It gets me the most cards next turn. I don't care about the clock off the board very much. I just need to find my anti dice factory cards here. So I'll pass turn.
For turn.
Trying to manage the
Ooh,
delay for you.
this is huge. I drew a
Oh,
Grim
don't say that.
Monolith. So this enables me to power out
Oh, I
a
didn't.
lot of
Your
mana
land.
right now
Yeah.
because I can take 2 to play the Grim Monolith, going to 16, and so now I have choices right now. I can play any of my 4 drops, um, like Khan's Sign of Oza, Khan Great Creator, or the Mystic Forge. The fun play would be going for the Mystic Forge and just hoping to play a lot of things right now. But the downside is that if he plays Collective next turn, it shuts down a lot of my plays. So I can, if I play the Manifold Key, I can generate 4 mana with a Grim Monolith, like tap it for 3, use 2 of them to, like 1 of them to play the Manifold Key, untap it, tap it again, go up to 4, play Khan the Great Creator, go for Liquid Metal Coating again, and just keep him off his 3rd mana, which would be pretty decent right now. And I think that's also what I'm going to do. So I will tap this for 3, play the Manifold Key, untap the Grim Monolith, still 1 mana floating. I will go for 4 mana, play Khan the Great Creator again, and down to Khan, get the Liquid Metal Coating, play City of Traitors, and play the coating again. And because he's winning the life race right now, so I think I should go in and take him with a Core Tapper for 1.
All right. I guess I
Uh,
will. I guess I'll take it.
yes. So this sets me up for next turn to like pressure him with Khan, and then next turn maybe play the Mystic Forge and go ham. So I would pass the turn, and I will in your upkeep. I will target the Bayou with liquid metal coating.
Sure. I won't represent anything here. That's fine. I'm going to draw step, and I'll draw an exit Sylvan Library. Um,
It's not tapped at this point.
no, this is during draw step.
No, the Bayou is not tapped.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's coded, so
Yeah.
it's basically tapped.
Yes. But you can use
um,
it again in my turn, so I don't
yeah,
want you to.
yeah. So the top of my deck is Mox Diamond Savannah Wasteland. Hard disinterest in the Mox Diamond. Um, the only consideration I have here is straining some of this garbage at the top of my deck. I've got the Verdant Catacombs to clear that. Um, I can waste him off of Ancient Tomb. He'll still have access to at least 4 mana next turn, unless even if he draws nothing off the City of Traders key Monolith. Um, and like I said earlier, I would really, really love to get up to my enough mana to cast my spells. So I'm going to decline taking damage. I'll put Savannah Mox Diamond back. I'll save this Wasteland for later and play the Verdant Catacombs now so I can clear the Sylvan Library as necessary. We'll go ahead and activate Verdant Catacombs down to 18. I think I should be at 17 actually because I've fetched twice and got hit once. Um, again, we'll just
Those 2 winning now.
go get colors here. I'll go get a Scrubland of all things. And we'll just go ahead and run out the Stark Confidant. I'm really saving that green Sunsinger. Finding a collector Reef is better than anything else I can search out, basically. So I will shuffle my deck. I'll pass it back.
Okay, I will go to my turn, untap everything except the Grim Monolith, and I will draw for turn. Okay, I drew a
I'll go on
search
here.
node. So I think what I'm going to do is I will untap the Grim Monolith, tap it again,
Mhm.
and now I have to think. This is 4 mana now that I'm floating here. I think I can also try to go for the big turn, probably. So this is the point where I can decide to get greedy. So I can make a total of 6 mana. Let's get this
Yeah, but you're at
this
14 now,
going.
so that means I'm winning.
Then I'm at 14. Yeah, you are winning. So I think this is something that I should try right now. So we want to see what Dice Factory is doing. So we are not doing the boring Khan lock. Instead, what I will be doing is I will play a Paradox Engine, fetching this with Khan for my sideboard, and I will play for single colorless Search Node, untapping both of my artifacts. This is really greedy, by the way, but that's what we came to do here. Then I will tap those two for 5 mana, and this enters with 6 charge counters, and I will play Mystic Forge. I will go down to 1 mana, untap those two, and now I can take a look at the top of my deck. I will tap those two for 5 mana. I will play Sky Sovereign Console Flagship, untap everything, and I will ETB trigger target your Bob.
Yeah.
I will look at the top card of my library. I will go up to 6 mana again. I will play a second Khan.
But Legend
Legendary.
Rule.
Yes, I will keep the new one.
Sure.
I will untap all of my artifacts. Okay. Let's make. Wait, I have to pay some amount of mana for this, so I'm down to 2 mana. I will make 5 more mana, and then for a single mana, I will play another Search Node. And I think, you know what? At this point, I go to my sideboard with Khan. We sideboarded out the Magistrate's Scepter. So what I'm going to do now is I will first float some more mana, because this is 5 more mana. And I will look at the top card of my library. Nope. I will play Magistrate's Scepter. Untap this thing. And now I will use 2 of my mana, going down to only 9 floating mana, to put 2 charge counters on the Magistrate's Scepter, tapping the core tapper to put 1 more charge counter on it. Let's tap the Mystic Forge, paying a life, to exile the top card of my library. It's the Urza Saga. And let's make 5 more mana over here, going back up again, and I will play another Khan, Great Creator, Legend Rule. And I will untap all of my permanents. With a trigger on the stack, I will take an extra turn. And let's go back to untapping all those things. Thank you very much. And
For
that is,
MTGO, I would just like go smoke a cigarette or something. I don't actually smoke, but I can
yeah,
start.
that's
F6.
fine. Let's put 2 more charge counters on here. Third with the core tapper. Take an extra turn. So those are down to 4 and 4. Pay another life. exile the top card of my library, another Urza Saga, worst card in the deck.
You should play that card. I hear it's good.
Yeah, so I have 2 extra turns right now. Let's play another spell, the Voltaic Key. We don't even care about the mana anymore. We will just untap everything. Make 5 more mana. Going to 6, paying 2 of them to put 3 charge counters on the Magistrate's Scepter. Resolve the Voltaic Key. And take another extra turn, 3 extra turns, and I think we can start just winning the game by casting Khan the Great, the Khan Sign of Urza. Untapping everything, we have 3 extra turns.
What do you mean by start winning the game? I'm actually not sure what that means.
Like we have to actually like finish the game right now. So let's down tick Khan to make a construct token. We have them somewhere over here. And let's make 3 more mana. That's 6 and 2. That's why it's called Dice Factories. Use 2 of those mana to put 2 charge counters on this. Let's use 2 more to untap him twice, put 3 more charge counters on this. Exile the top card of my library. It's another land. I think we can just go to my next turn at this point. One of
Sure.
my next 4 turns.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, so I will. I think I forgot to use my Khan at this point.
You did.
But I think I don't care. So
So-
let's draw this.
So how big is your construct right now?
It's
3, 4,
1, 2,
5,
3,
6,
4,
8.
5, 6, 7,
I count 10, I
8,
think.
9, 10, 11, 12,
There's more
13,
off camera.
and it's a 13, 13. So
Okay.
I will uptake my Khan on the skyship, and I will just swing for 19.
Yeah, which is lethal.
I guess I'll Force of Vigor pitching Lifelink Loam, Lifelink Loam. I'm just kidding. I don't have that. It was a Bajuka Bog in my hand.
Okay, that's what I meant. Like that was the greedy turn, but it was the more fun turn.
Yeah.
Right.
There wasn't anything I could have really done that game, I don't think, except for dig harder, for, like mull harder towards hate. But the hands on this deck are can be just very brutal and very sad whenever you draw 6 with you can't cast spells.
Yeah.
Turn
No.
was this? Was this my 3rd turn?
Yeah, you also beat me on turn 3. I was on the play. So
So that goes to
You
show the
ma-
power of the artifact strategies in Legacy. That's for sure.
yeah, you got to turn to Karn, and I was just like, well, that's cool.
Well,
Yep.
at least we got to highlight Urza Saga in game 1. Just how able you are to on your turn activate the ability in response, or tap mana, activate the ability to the trigger, and be able to go get a construct that way. It plays so well with a lot of other artifact strategies, which is really nice. And for very little cost, even for that deck, it seems that it just slots into there pretty much.
I think I got rewarded very much for keeping my opening hand, because I top decked the Grim Monolith, and that just enabled me to do so much on my 2nd turn, like with a Khan plus liquid metal coating, forcing Jeremy again to to just scramble to get something to like deal with that threat while developing my boards in a way that, I mean, okay, I did develop my board in the 3rd turn so much that it didn't really matter, but
Yeah, I think I pretty much just had to hope that you had a slow start there so I could start catching up with the collector, because it's such a big card against you. I didn't want to lose my chance. Like, even if I like mull and I find like a Thalia or an Abrupt Decay, like I just don't think that's as good as Collector Roof. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. The only thing that Thalia does is it helps in terms of him starting to go infinite with the Manifold Key, or with the key in the Grim Monolith, because as he's casting artifacts, he's got to spend more mana than he's able to untap and create.
Yeah, it would slow down that early acceleration there.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break here before we go into round 2, I believe, right?
We are absolutely, yeah.
All right, so we'll be back with me and Cathor here on Jund and Miracles.
Yeah. See you guys then.